Coming to you today with 5 tips to properly manage your public service loan forgiveness program before December, when Fed loans will no longer be servicing the PSLF program, okay? Fed loans decided not to update their contract, and this video will contain 5 tips. Tip number 1, I'm going to talk about the importance of recertifying right now. Tip number 2 will be, if you're not getting the appropriate payments counted after you recertify, to consider filing a complaint to the CPFB and how to do that. Tip number 3 will be, when you take new employment and you're between jobs, what is it important to think about when you want to go to a new job / resign, how to optimize the number of qualifying payments. Tip number 4 will be file your IDR between employers. And tip number 5 will be, consider submitting a comment to the U.S. Department of Education, who is taking public comments right now on how to improve the public service loan forgiveness program. I will include all those details. If this is relevant to you, please consider subscribing to this channel, sharing, leaving comments. We love to help people who are looking for information to better manage their student loans so they can achieve whatever financial goals they want to do next, whether it's buying a home, getting married, buying a... Tip number 1, it's really important to recertify your employer before October ends of this year, because what you don't want to do, whether you have recertified your employer the last time years ago, even though you've been working for a nonprofit, or whether you certified even just a few months ago, we would recommend recertifying your paperwork before October so that Fed Loan can update your payment count. What you don't want to happen is have an incorrect transfer of information from Fed Loans to the new servicer and don't have record that you have filed and got a most updated payment count, okay? Along with that, with updating your records, make sure to download any documentation you have on the Fed Loan site, and not to just download every documentation and every proof of recertification you currently have, and even go consider digging it up, because what you don't want to happen is have Fed Loan transfer over and lose all the records. And that's a huge risk of actually being able to happen, okay? So make sure you understand and have documented what you have done in your student loans, because it's the burden, the law says the burden's on you to prove that you have made the qualifying payments, okay? Tip number 2, there's so many people that file into the public service loan forgiveness program, get their payments transferred, and many, many months of payments that have not counted towards the qualifying payment of 120 payments to count towards forgiveness, right? If that's you, like for example, you started an employer, you worked there for 2 years, but Fed Loans only counts 12 months as qualifying payments, but when it should actually be 24 months, I would consider filing for recalculation. And if Fed Loans doesn't resolve those and get those 12 payments counted in this example, then you should consider filing a CPFB complaint. I will leave a link in the description below. If you have payments that you have made, that you are actively in repayment, you've certified the employer, and Fed Loan has not counted that month as a qualifying payment, right? File a complaint, because look, let's say your monthly payment's $500 a month and they don't count 6 months. That's $3,000 extra dollars you're going to have to pay that you actually qualify to get forgiven entirely. So it's important to get every possible payment counted, okay? We're going to now move to tip number 3. If you are considering going between employers, it's really important that if you started a job on the 15th of the month, for example, to try to quit the job on the 15th, 16th, 17th, after the 15th of the month, because you want that whole month counted. What happens is people will quit a few days before the end of the month and not get that month counted. Like I said, if your payment's $500, that's $500 extra you're going to have to make in payments. So make sure your corresponding quit date is around the full month mark so you can get that month qualified. When you leave that employer, get them immediately to fill out the employer certification form so you can get the time at that employer fully counted towards PSLF, okay? That's how to deal with employers before you quit. My tip number 4 is make sure to file your income-driven repayment form between employers. And the reason this is so important is because while you're between employers and make zero income, you can file and get 1 year of $0 payments counted towards actual payments, right? So let's say you have 2 years left, you're between employers, file for 1 year of $0 payments. That is literally means, let's say your payment would have been $500 a month, for example. That's literally $6,000 of extra forgiveness you're going to get by filing between employers. If you're unsure of how to do this, what documentation you need, this is why LoanSense exists. We're here to assist you in strategizing, getting this information so that you can optimize the amount of loan forgiveness if that is your strategy, right? I will also leave a link in the description below that addresses what should your loan payoff strategy be. Should it be to pay less and get forgiveness, or should it be to pay it off quicker? I will link that below because that's really important that you understand that to determining what actions you should take on your student loans. Last, but certainly not least, is now until Friday, today's September 21st, sorry. This coming Friday, which is the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Okay, 24th of September, the government is, the U.S. Department of Ed is opening for public comments on how to improve the public service loan forgiveness program. Whatever experience you have had as an individual, we would love for you to leave public comments for the government and the Department of Education to consider on how to improve the public service loan forgiveness program. Right now, they have 35,000 comments already. Please make sure to join in so that your voice can be heard on how to improve the program. A few tips on things that can improve the program that you could consider leaving is, instead of making public service loan forgiveness a 10-year program, why don't we make it a 5-year program? Or why don't we get loans forgiven at every single time you file an employer certification form instead of waiting till the end of 10 years and holding on to that interest the whole time, right? How do we make the filing process easier to understand? That is all input that the Department of Ed would like you to contribute towards. The more public comments we receive supporting one view of what to do, the more likely the Department of Ed will improve the program to allow more people than just 2% right now qualifying, right? Another tip I would say, having experience managing all these programs, is allow any form of repayment program to count towards public service loan forgiveness, because the idea is that you're a public servant, right? It shouldn't matter what exact program you're on. If you're a public servant and you qualify that employer, that you should get that payment counted towards public service loan forgiveness. It shouldn't matter if you're in revised pay as you earn, or even in graduated plan, for example. If you're a public servant, you should get credit for that time you're serving and not based on all these nuanced, crazy rules on what program you're on. That's another comment. I think it's really important that if we as student loan borrowers leave, we're likely to get the government to move in terms of certifying payments no matter what. Last and not least, if you work for a federal government, another comment I would love people to rally behind me leaving is, if you work for a public service organization like a nonprofit or hospital system, and it takes a servicer 6 months to roll you into the public service loan forgiveness program, those 6 months you're paying a reduced payment should still count towards public service loan forgiveness. You shouldn't be penalized because a loan servicer is taking 6 months versus 1 month to certify you, right? So we need to give people credit and also lessen the amount of time it takes to transfer the loans and actually start having payments count towards public service loan forgiveness. That is my comments as a professional in this field. We've counseled hundreds and hundreds of people, not just counseled them, but have them go through our software to help improve their outcomes, and have saved tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars for some borrowers, including helping borrowers get temporary expanded public service loan forgiveness. So we see these errors over and over again, and we encourage you to support our stance in putting in comments for improving the public service loan forgiveness program. Again, I will leave links below so you can go add to the comments. It's really easy to do. We encourage you to do it. So if you like the content of this channel and believe it would be highly valuable to help you save money and achieve your financial goals, please like and subscribe to this channel and get your free loan analysis at myloansense.com. We can't wait to serve you.